pulled over by Berlin police about 3 or 4 months ago. My goddaughter's father, he gives me a call. He calls me up. He says, Scott, my car's being towed. Can you come pick me up? And his daughter is stranded. So I go pick him up. They towed the car. Bring him to go pick up the car. Get the car to the garage. We're going back to where he lives, and police pull him over again. So the owner of the garage asked him where he was going. Knew that the car was not registered. Called the police on him again. As I was saying, the whole perversion of language in law was done intentionally to keep people fooled, keep us tricked. If you go into Black's Law Dictionary, like I said, look up the word person and look up excise. Excise taxation, a tax imposed on the manufacture, sale, or use of goods. Cigarette tax, or an occupation activity, such as a license tax or attorney occupation fee. That covers just about everything that we basically do. So, the basis of maritime admiralty law and the birth certificate, 1913, when they enacted the Federal Reserve Act, I believe Woodrow Wilson, he stated that every American will be required to register their biological property and will be used as chattel property or cattle collateral to secure the nation's debt. So the birth certificate is the foundation document. Everything else stems from that, including the driver's license. So we basically waived our right in exchange for a benefit or a privilege. And when we get pulled over for minor infractions, stop sign or failure to produce a document, it's all based on an assumption and presumption. They're assuming or presuming you to be guilty of something, and then they ask you, "Can I see your ID?" Your driver's license is an ID. How can your driver's license expire if your identification doesn't expire? How can your driver's license expire? So when you begin to question things like this, it's a game of chess, really. You got to know how to play the game. You got to know the lingo. If you don't know the lingo, you're going to just continue to get shafted and continue to be obedient taxpayer.
Precise.
Yeah.
For myself and viewers, if we're ever stopped by a police officer, what are some of the action steps that we can take?
Number one, first and foremost, always be cool, calm, and collected. Always be respectful. Don't use profanity. Don't be aggressive. Always be calm and respectful. Number two, know and exercise your rights. If the police want to search your vehicle or search you, you have the right to non-consent. That doesn't mean you won't get searched, but you still have that right. A lot of times they can try to threaten you or by coercion, force you into signing something or confessing into something that you didn't do. So always assert your rights. Know that you don't have to consent to search. And at any given moment they try to threaten you, you have the option to say, am I being detained or am I free to leave?
Okay.
Number three.
That's four.
Number four, always know that you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to say a word on any circumstances. They can threaten you all they want. Don't say anything. I want a lawyer. That's it. There's a way to deal with the police when they pull you over for a random traffic stop. you have a right to refuse search. You can refuse search and say I don't consent to searches. That's your right. That doesn't mean that they won't search your vehicle though, or won't search you, because they searched me and my vehicle illegally without my consent, and they stole my car, which is stealing. That's search and seizure. So that's a direct violation of the Constitution. So when you prove, first you got to be respectful too. Say hi, officer, how are you? If you have an attitude, you fail the attitude test, then they're gonna have a reason to search you. Be respectful. Say how you doing. Smile. That'll be. Sometimes it'll throw them off and it'll make subside the situation. But in any event, those are certain rights that we need that we saying, oh, we know our rights. A lot of people, I know my rights. Not really, because there's ways they trick us into things also. And even if you Motor Vehicle Act, Black's Law Dictionary, all this information is documented. None of this is my opinion. This is all factual. People got to get off their opinion things and put their opinions and their feelings to the side and get smart with facts. Listen to Robert Menard, Mark Stevens, Santos Bonacci, Taj Sharif Bey, Mark Stevens' Adventures in Legal Land. They got the audio book. Listen to that.
Nigel Barge.
Who?
Nigel Barge.
Yeah, Nigel Farge, Farage. Dean Clifford, Gene Keating. Gene Keating is all attacks. That's deep. It's all attacks. He gets in real deep with it. Like, it's you have what you call de facto law and de jure law. De facto means, I'm gonna give you the exact definition because this is not my words. This is straight from the Black's Law Dictionary and Barron's Dictionary of Legal Terms. Let's see, where is it? Okay, hold on, I got the definition of certificate. A document serving as a representation of ownership. Representation of ownership, accomplishment, qualification, or evidence, such as for stocks and bonds, deposit, incorporation, audit report, marriage, professional achievement, and birth certificate, and many others. What was the other word I was just saying? De facto and de jure. De facto meaning it exists, but it really doesn't. De facto court, a court functioning under the authority of a statute that is later adjudged to be invalid. Then you have what you call de jure law. That's actual factual law, which is usually derived from the Constitution. But the Constitution only states rights that we already have. You have inalienable rights, your God-given rights, your God-given duties. These are your God-given rights that can't be given, can't be taken, and they can't be purchased. They can only be exercised. Now, if you don't know your rights, then you can't exercise them. So therefore, you fall victim to the system, and we remain slaves, and we just get taxed. Keep paying your registration, your taxes. Keep paying this. Even the insurance industry. Let me give you a little fact about the insurance industry. They use a system what you call fractional reserve lending. The average American will pay an average of $100,000 over their lifetime in auto insurance and will get back approximately $0 to $2,000 in claims. The average American will also lose over $250,000 in interest that could have been obtained by saving the said $100,000 mentioned above. The company takes your monthly payment of $75 or so and puts it into their bank accounts. Then through a devilish but clever practice called fractional reserve lending, it multiplies your $75 payment times 10 into $7,500. Although beyond the scope of this manifesto, your insurance company multiplies, lends, and invests your money to make huge profits from your seemingly small or large monthly payment. This is why the tallest buildings in your city are usually insurance companies. So, people gotta read more and start getting on the ball with a lot of these terms, because person is not what you think it is. Person is something that you have. You have your paper you and your natural you, your real you. Those are your, yeah, this is my first video regarding law, and took a little time to explain my situation with dealing with the police and getting pulled over for traffic stops. I'm going to be doing the second video after my fourth court appearance tomorrow. You know, do some research. Start reading books. Gotta start reading books, people. I mean, it's too much. There's too much deception out here, and you know, as long as we accept that deception for truth, we're just gonna continue to be blind sheep, being led to the slaughter. So, read. Stop watching so much TV. Start reading more books, and get familiar with law, because the way it is now, we want to set up a good future for these kids that are coming up now in this society, and you know, it's a rough battle, but it only take one individual to change it. So, you know, every time you look in the mirror, ask yourself, are you the one? Knowledge reigns supreme. Peace.